Oh, yeah, yeah. Right, right. We're gonna get into this one, yeah, people. We are back live. Listen, appreciate all the support over the international break. Kind of wish it was extended a little now, but no, appreciate all the support over the international break. I know it's a tough time during that period where there's no football, but you guys, locked in with the support. So thank you. We're back to business today, and we've picked up where we left off before the break with a few things. In fact, there's a lot to talk about in this one, and we're going to try and dissect it together because Leeds United have ended this game 2-2 after going ahead twice. Unacceptable for me. And I've said so many times, man, if we don't finish first in the position that we've been in, there has to be an inquest because it will have gone wrong somewhere. And today was probably a perfect example of that. Absolutely abysmal, in fact, today. And it's not just one player. We're not just going to talk about one player today. There was a few today. The passing was so sloppy today, absolutely sloppy. And listen, before I continue, because I will forget. Well done to Swansea because I feel like they actually did deserve a point today. I wish they didn't get a point, but I feel overall they were good for a point. Um, they dominated us in the first half in terms of possession and the way they used it. We were very sloppy throughout the game, and they earned it today. They beat our press so many times as well, and for me that's unacceptable, especially at Ellen Road. Especially at Ellen Road. No, this is the real timeline, man. This is no Back to the Future 2 alternative timeline, man. This is real. This is real. Uh is Darlow the worst goalkeeper in Europe? Yeah. Look, and Chris is saying he's still second at least. Yeah, we're currently joint second. I'll get the table up in a bit, but guys, we got to get into this. So yeah, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course drop your comments below. Oh man, wow, football, man. Do you think you've got a late winner, and then you've got I can't. I've run out of words for this goalkeeper. I really have. And I was coming on here ready up until his first mistake to come on and go. He's done so well today. I was gonna do the thing I've told you guys before. He's that special kid in the class, full of set ones, and he's the kid that's lagging behind. But when he does something right, you have to pat him on the head and go, "Well done, Eliam. Well done." And he undid it twice. Like, how do you do? Well, we know how he does it. It's him. Okay, we know how he does it. And listen, when I've said before about Eli Meslier going to cost us points again, that wasn't like a prediction, as Paul Heyman would say. That was a spoiler. But on Meslier, it wasn't just him today. I thought the whole team was kind of off it. I thought pretty much all of them. Brendan Aronson had his redemption arc a little bit today, but I thought there was so many just average performances out there. Well, listen, let's get a couple of the super chats in. Oh, Mr. P, thank you for the super thanks in the last video and for the super chat now. Head's gone, and we are now no longer in control. Yep, that is true. William here saying mentality is instilled by your manager, just pathetic, no ruthlessness, no heart. Barney here saying the first thing Big Sam did was bench Meslier. Say what you want about the man, but he knows ball. Yep. Farker out on that premises alone. FFS. Hyru in the house saying here, there's no way Meslier can start next week. Your job is on the line, Farker. You better make changes and utilize your squad, or you can pack your bags early. Yeah, and we're going to speak about that as well in terms of just the squad utilization for today, because I would have mentioned it even if we had won the game 2-1. I've already got the slide ready for that. But it's just going to keep happening again, isn't it, with this manager? He does not utilize his tools in the proper way. He doesn't. Man said get Big Sam. Oh, yeah, we're on the same points as Burnley now, Sam. That is correct. That is correct. Christopher here shouting me out here. KG, we have to win our home games. This is bad. Yet we keep this up, and fourth place is creeping up. Yeah, I mean, look, on that premise though, Christopher, whether we finish third, fourth, there's an inquest regardless. It's terrible from where we've been. We should not be finishing third or fourth with this team. We shouldn't. And listen, got to be careful with this one because Danny Farker does have his fan club, but I think Russell Martin could have done what he's done with this squad, maybe with more goals conceded because Russell Martin's a bit more on the front foot. But getting the amount of points he's done with this team isn't like a massive feat for me. It isn't. The team is absolutely head and shoulders above so many teams in this division. We literally had Nanto come on the 85th minute today and do bits for us. No other team can really say that. Probably by Sheffield United. There's no reasons for the squad falling away from the top two. There isn't. Look, we're still second now, but what have we got next week, people? We got an early kickoff away, and even though Luton have been absolutely honking this season, our away form and an early kickoff is probably worse. So we shall see. But we got a week. We got a week, man. D Parker here saying we crush everyone else with our budget, no excuses. Yeah, but and it's not just that though, D Parker. We've used the budget very well. Probably apart from Isaac Schmidt, who that one hasn't worked out. With the manager, he obviously just doesn't fancy him. That we've used the budget well. It's not like we've paid it on players that aren't performing or haven't performed at all. We had 50,000 or roughly around that in the budget for a Mano Solomon. We got him. Mano Solomon has performed overall. We've had Tanaka in the door. Joe Rothwell for just a straight up loan signing has performed. Jaden Bogle has performed. Joe Roden for the most part, has been absolutely sensational at the back there. Like players have performed, but then there's little bits that you do get from your manager that are instilled in you. I just don't believe that the curse away from home or even early kickoffs in general is a coincidence. I don't believe that. But look, we've got a lot to get into. So, oh man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gutted about that one, man. 2-2 at home to Swansea is an appalling result. It's absolutely appalling. And now with this club and the way that we are, there's even more pressure on that game next weekend. Unnecessary as well. Let me just say that out the gate. It's unnecessary pressure because this should have been a routine home win. Saw Sheffield United get one yesterday against a fairly high-flying Coventry team. We've seen Burnley today. Honestly, once Burnley scored, I just didn't look again because I know that they weren't going to concede. They've become that kind of team. So Burnley, Sheffield United both get their routine home wins. And what do? We fluff it up twice. Sorry, there's no excuses for that today, people. I'm sorry, you can't put any excuses for that. We should not be dropping points at home to Swansea. Be very interested to see what Daniel Farker says, but we'll cover that in the video tomorrow. Ronnie here saying the keeper was crap, but Aronson and Bogle were both terrible. I don't know about Aronson. I mean, just from the level that he was playing before, it wasn't hard to lift it from that level. But I thought he was doing stuff very well today. Overall, not very well. Let me take that back. I thought he was doing stuff well. Okay, let me downgrade that. So I don't think he was terrible today. I think there was worse performance out there, and one of them. Before we get on to Meslier, I thought Dan James again was very wasteful. And I mean, he was getting into some good positions. And when Dan James goes one-on-one with a defender, he has the beating of him. But I thought his final decision-making with the ball today was very poor. I thought the balls he was playing weren't good. And it was another instance where I feel like he could have come off earlier than he actually did. And he just stayed on the pitch. I thought I don't think James utilized the ball very well. Ampadu, it was good to see him get a start, but you could see he was clearly a bit rusty, but he did get a good, near 60 minutes in the tank, which we do need that for him going forward. But, he wasn't at his very best today. Solomon, I thought that he could have utilized the ball a bit better because he got into a few promising positions today and didn't execute that final pass that well. Roden for the penalty. It was a penalty, by the way. There's surely no one's arguing that. I know Leeds tinted glasses are very strong, but that was a penalty. And it was just a clumsy mistake by Joe. But he's been so solid for us all season. I'm not going to hammer him for that. But it was a poor decision that could have been costly. We'll speak about Meslier in the bundle there. Byram actually today, and obviously Byram started because clearly Firpo coming back late was probably not fit enough to play from the start, but I thought Byram did his job very well. You're always going to get good defensive work from him, and even on one occasion in the second half, he went forward and created some kind of half chance for us. But yeah, it was just very flat. All the final balls today were just sloppy. We kept passing it to Swansea. Swansea were pressing us in packs as well, and we couldn't handle it. Like Swansea have legitimately earned a point here today. Like this isn't like a smash and grab for me. They've legitimately earned a point, but we've also gifted it them today. because what the game was looking like, and this will be for people that also watch Sheffield United. When Sheffield United have been, pressed or the other team are on them, Sheffield United was weighed it out, and we was doing a lot of that today against Swansea. But eventually, the quality should shine through, and it did on a couple of occasions. But then we've got we've got this man in goal. We've got this man in goal. Oh man, I've got to try and just say this and just keep a calm head. I'm gonna really try here. I'm not gonna get like angry. I know what to expect from Meslier. Um, but yeah, when you've got your promotion rivals fans saying the best signing that they made in January was Leeds United keeping Meslier, it speaks volumes, people, and you shouldn't ignore stuff like that. Scott Lightning here. Mez, good game apart from two howlers. Scott, what use is that? You're right though. You're actually right. He did have a good game, but the two howlers, they're always costly with him. Always. He doesn't make mistakes that don't lead to anything. It either leads to a shaky match for the rest of the game for him, or it leads directly to goals. There's no in between with him. No in between. And listen, he did well to save the penalty. I know a few of you were saying about the penalty not being good, but in Mellier's defense, he's jumped over penalties that have gone straight at him. He's also missed penalties that have gone just to the side of him. So for him to save a penalty, and I think it's the first one since maybe 2018, something like that, it was a good penalty save. And there was work that he was doing after that was just very basic, but he was doing it well, catching balls, pushing things around to the side. Before the sequence for their second goal, really good save from Ronald to push it around the post. There was things he was doing well, but he'll always get you. That's how he does. He always gets you, man. And that's what happened today. I mean, where do I start? Where do I start? The first goal, it's just a basic catch. And you're right, Jay Dong. I'd like to blame Meslier today alone, but there's so much more wrong today. There absolutely is. But this is his portion of it here. It's a basic catch, people. What have I said before on these match reactions before? He makes non-talking points become talking points, and he's done it again. Done it again. And I'm sure Danny Farker will come out and defend him. He'll talk about all his performance up until the first goal that he conceded, and he'll defend him to the hill, and he'll be starting next week against Luton. He'll get the start. He won't take him out. Farker's too stubborn to admit that he may have made a mistake here. This man has literally cost us. It's in the double figures. Meslier himself has cost us double figures in points. And that's why when people tell me you can't criticize Farker because, well, we were top of the league, I'm saying, you're right, we are top of the league, but we should have a high point total. And there's decisions behind that why we don't have a high point total. And one of them is our goalkeeper, who is a glaring weakness. It's a simple catch, people. The thing is, he wasn't even contested. There's not even like any of his defenders can say there was a Swansea striker around him, Swansea player around him. He was by himself. He was by himself. All he had to do was catch it, punch it, do whatever. Instead, he drops it right at the feet of Darling, who scored for us again for the second time this season. I mean, what can you do with that? What can you do with that? And then the equalizer. I mean, god damn. It's a basic save. It's a basic save. The angle was cute. Meslier had that bit covered, but what happens? Not for the first time this season, people. It goes through his little skinny little wrists again. So, but you know what, man? At this point, it's one of these where you can't blame him at this point. You've got to put it on the manager who keeps on selecting him. That's where it has to go. Although I'm so annoyed, the manager is the one that keeps selecting him. It's the old Tyler Roberts thing. You can't keep getting mad at Tyler Roberts for doing absolutely nothing when Bielsa and Marsh keep playing him. It's one of those now. The game, we had it. You cannot be Leeds United with the squad that we have and have two leads against Swansea City, who had lost around 10 in 14 before this, and not win the game. No, sorry. Darren here saying it was similar to the whole goal. He put it to the feet of the opponent. Yeah. But this one, Darren, is probably Is it worse? Is it worse than getting the ball that was going out of play for a goal kick, then batting it back in at the feet of a defender? Or is this worse just dropping it from a basic catch? I don't know. It's probably equal. But yeah, it's very similar. Very similar. Um, Annabelle here saying you're only as strong as your weakest player. And it's unfortunate though, it's at the key end of it, isn't it? You can get away with it in the championship if your weakest player is, say, your left back or maybe even one of your central midfielders. You can probably get away with it, but the goalkeeping position, you can't get away with it. But all you need, and I've said it many times, is an average goalkeeper at this level. Average. That's all they have to be. Just average. Do the basics, go home. You can get promoted on that and get yourself an upgrade in the summer. But he's not average. And it's like when he's doing all that work really well, you're just thinking, what's coming next, Meslier? I know this isn't going to end the way it is. You've had one good game where I've thought, and it was last season against Sunderland, where you've actually kept all your teammates in it. What's coming, Meslier? And he's just dropped it in us twice, man. It's gutting, not gonna lie, but you know, you live and die by these decisions, what Farker does. But the problem is in that saying for us as fans is that we have to live with it. Farker doesn't. If it doesn't work out for him this season, he'll go somewhere else and we'll be left picking up the pieces from the mess that's been left if we don't go up. Which, you know, I'm not saying we're not going to go up, but today's result in lieu of the form that we've had previous to the international break, it's not good. It's not. It's not good at all. And you'd be blind just to keep saying that we'll turn it around. I hope we do. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying it's over, but you can't ignore the glaring warning signs, especially when it comes to squad utilization and, of course, the goalkeeper we had. Joel Peru had a chance today as well. Uh, Again, people say it's a good save by Vigoro. I disagree completely. Joel Peru just smashed it at him. It was a savable shot, and you know that he should have done better with that opportunity too. Let me just see here. Ruben in the house here. First off, that attacking four at the end needs to start next week. Secondly, Fargo and Meslier will make us fall short. My confidence is shot. Ryan here with the super chat. Thank you, Ryan. Surely the man knows that this keeper is a bozo. He's cost us 12 points this season, and it won't stop until someone stops him. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can't really tell Daniel Farker anything though anyway. So yeah, he'll defend him and he'll be back in the goal next week. It's just gutting people. We're gonna. And the thing is, what have we got next? Like 8 games left. He's got another one in him. It's one of those. I've got another one in me. It's that meme. He does. He's gonna have another one. That's just him. It's just him all over. So, but let's move on to Daniel Farker and his usage of the squad because this is what I was going to bring up before. You see the starting lineup there, and I kind of get it with a couple of the players being away. Tanaka probably not starting because he's playing a full night in Japan and the traveling. So I do kind of get that one. I don't think Rothwell was outstanding. I don't think he was bad. I think he was just okay. There was a couple of times where he did play us forward a little, but you could see that we were missing that Tanaka kind of star from the start of the game for me when he's not playing. But Farker, when we're ahead, and we weren't cruising by any stretch of the imagination, people. They scored in, I want to say the 60 something minute. Yeah, 64th minute, Harry Darling scores his goal. Instead of putting on Ramazani before that to try and, get the game going, take off Dan James, who for me, like I say, I don't think he had a good game apart from a few opportunities he tried to open for himself, but it just was not happening for him. We wait too late to make changes. So instead of being proactive with the changes and put the nail, on the result, nail in the coffin for this result, we wait for Swansea to equalize in order to then get Ramazani on, then to get Joseph on, and then later on Nonto with 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It looked like an inspired substitution at the time, but is that all that Nonto could have given us today? 5 minutes? I think he could have probably given us more the way that he was celebrating. Sure, adrenaline would have kicked in. But the point about this, what I'm trying to say is even if we had won 2-1, I would have brought this point up anyway. It's not being proactive with the subs when the game we were flat. Not just for the first half, we were kind of flat for the second too. And he didn't make changes quick enough for me. I think the plan was always to give Ethan around 60 minutes today, regardless, just to get him back in the match practice arena, get him back his match fitness, get his legs back under him. but the other changes could have happened sooner. And that is his blind spot. Doesn't matter how many points he accumulates, he is not very good when it comes to making proactive substitutions. He's not. He's not good at them. So that was a point I wanted to bring up. Ramazani got getting, 70 up 20 something minutes, but Nanto only getting 5 in the game state that it was in. For me, it's kind of criminal. Honestly, it's kind of criminal. Ali here saying Dan James has been bad for about 6 games now. Yeah, and listen, DJ is another one like Brendan. Up to a certain point, has been really good for us this season. Probably one of the players of the season, but he has been off it, and I don't think Farker has realized that or can't see it. But he has to see that DJ can come off before a certain time and bring on Ramazani and Nanto before we get into sudden death minutes where we're chasing a game. It almost worked for him today, but for yet another Meslier howler, it would have worked and he would have got away with it. But one of his good decisions there in terms of the timing of that substitution looked like it worked well, but another one of his decisions to keep playing Meslier, it backfired as well. Michael here saying Ramazani looks so undercooked. Lack of minutes has ruined him. Yeah, it's that thing again, Michael. He's when you're dealing with players, and it's something that we said last year, I said last season, I've said it again. You can have informed players like Solomon, you can have top players like that. You utilize them, they deserve the starts, absolutely. But you've got to give them minutes. And there's been some games where Ramazani hasn't even seen the pitch, which is absolutely insane to me. And now he looked a little rusty today. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Marcus here saying Brendan and James are exhausted mentally. I thought Brendan actually had his energy back today. And I think the international break with him not going away with America actually helped him a lot. And we got another week until the next game, so that should help again. But yeah, Dan James, he played consistently for Wales. I know he came off, before 70 minutes in midweek, but he played both games. Got man of the match in the first one, but he's played a lot of football. And yet, he doesn't come off until late in the game. It's poor squad management in that area there. Captain Elwood, man, I haven't seen your name in a long time, Captain Elwood. What's going on, man? Does today put the final nail in the coffin for DF's chance of managing in the Prem? 49ers can't have confidence in him with potentially fumbling promotion again with the clear best squad in the league. It's a conversation for the summer, Captain Elwood, but I think people can pretty much read what I would like to happen, but it's not going to happen. If he gets us up, he will get an opportunity to manage. All I would say then is that the 49ers better have a contingency plan. Otherwise, they would be very foolish, very, very foolish if they think that he is going to be the man to keep us up. He's not. He's just not. He's not tactically good against managers in this division. Like, he can't even solve John Eustace. And that's the thing as well that scares me if we to drop into the playoffs. I've said it before. I would love this club to prove me wrong, but I don't have any confidence for us for the playoffs. That's why top 2 is just so important for me, honestly. Oh yeah, being busy, no problem, man. I understand, man. Lives, man. Understand. Michael here just saying here, Leeds United need to keep pace with Sheffield United, Burnley, regardless whether Leeds are ahead or behind until these teams play each other. Yeah, this was a point I made before, Michael. People kept on talking about Burnley and Sheffield United have got to play each other. But I said, if we continue in the form we're in, it won't matter what they do because we won't be in the conversation anymore. So we have to, after this international break, which is now, go on a run that makes us undeniable, where we don't even care what happens in the Burnley Sheffield United game. We don't give a stuff. Let them beat each other up for all we care. But now we're looking over our shoulder a bit. Man. Truanik here, as Farker caught Darlow in bed with his wife. Not sure, man. Not sure. Ian here saying having a natural number 10 is down to the board. Ooh. It's a tough one, Ian, because you have to also go by Daniel Farker saying that he is in charge of everything. And I'm sure if he wanted another 10, that he would have got one. Are we really trying to say that the recruitment team couldn't find one number 10? Really? The problem that he had was that Brendan Aronson was going to start regardless. And let's not forget this. Brendan Aronson has started something like 30-something games in a row. He wasn't going to bring in another 10 to replace Brendan Aronson, it was going to be to support him. And maybe that's where it fell down. But in the same breath as well, though, Ian and everyone else, he also did say that Solomon can play there and Nanto can play there. When the window shut, when Jorginho had to go, he said that it will be Nanto and Aronson in the 10. That is what he said. It's not until we get to later in the season where all of a sudden I don't want a winger in the number 10. And then later on, after the next transfer window closes, we've got Nanto, we've got Ramazani that can play in the 10 also. So, you know what I mean? And I'm just going by everything that he has said. I've not guessed anything. These are things he has said in press conferences. And agreed. Yeah, Ash is saying agreed. I think if a 10 was so important, we'd had one. Absolutely, Ash. Absolutely. The one that I said that I think we needed more than anything in January was defensive cover. Obviously, a goalkeeper would have been great, but again, you know when just to shut up about it because it's not happening. But I thought that maybe defensive cover would have been the one. In all honesty, Darren here saying here, no excuses, please. We have the best squad in the championship. Yeah, we don't need too much else. That's what I'm saying. When you look at our bench, there's not much else to add, is there? You know, Schmidt today. If Firpo wasn't really that, ready to go, if he still had a bit of jet lag, Isaac Schmidt was ready to go. Isaac Schmidt has talked about this in the international break about the lack of minutes. He says that the club has a plan for him. The guy's 25 years old. This isn't a 21-year-old kid. This should be someone that's in the midst of, the prime of their career. But yeah. I don't know, man. Marcus is saying Saturday room. Why do we put ourselves through the shits? We love the club. By the way, before I forget, I can't forget this, man. Rest in peace, Chris and Kev. I still, as a kid, I remember when this kind of thing happened. And, on a footballing sense, it kind of half derailed the rest of the season for that lovely 99-2000 season. So, nice tribute paid by both clubs as well, by the way. Rest in peace to Chris and Kev. The only funny thing I will say is that people kept looking behind them just to make sure that action hadn't resumed. I did find that a little funny, but no, rest in peace to Chris and Kev always, man. James here saying, come on, KG, give Farquhar a break. He's the best manager we've had since Revy. All right, man. Fairs. Keith here saying, why didn't we take Harmer from Sheffield United? It's perfect to damage a rival and strengthen your first team because we put in a joke bid, Keith. We put in a nonsensical bid. It was like the Arsenal bid for Suarez to Liverpool, just nonsensical. You're not going to get it for that price, but it's like we tried. You were never going to get him for below what Sheffield United paid. It was a ridiculous bid to even try and make. By the way, I know he's getting a lot of kudos for his free kick yesterday, and I do like Gus Harmer, so I'm saying this with love. That free kick should have been saved, but that's the standard of goalkeeper in this division. It wasn't in the corner. The keeper should have palmed it out, but again, got it on target, did what he had to do, which is more than what we've had with free kicks at our club. Let's be joking. Let's have it right. Let's have it right. Mark is saying here, constant heartbreak and disappoint. I don't know if I can do this any longer. Mark, you'll be here next week. We will all be here next week. That's what we do. That's what we do as fans, man. But yeah, man, it's just disappointing. I don't know what else is left to say about this one. I don't know what else. I think I've gone through everything. I don't think there's much else to say. James here adding on to that. Obviously, this is one of the Farker defenders. What about the players? No heart, energy, or desire, too slow all the time. I agree, James. I've already put it on the players. You must have come in late. The only thing I'll say about that, then, James, is when there's no heart, energy, or desire, it's up to then the manager to deliver a message to get them to show a bit of heart, get them, performing, or to make changes to change the tide of the game. You know what I mean? It's both ways. Table. Oh, keep saying wait until you see Farkas comments. Shall I have a look on this one? Let's go to the table first, man. Let's go to the table first. Because we are still in the top two. I know it doesn't feel like it today, but it's an awful result. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for anyone. It's an awful result. We've drawn 3 of the last 5 games. Unacceptable. I'm sorry. That's unacceptable with the team that we have in this crap division. It's unacceptable. 3 draws in the last 5. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No. No. DJ Beza here. Why is James like unchangeable until 5 minutes to go? He's greedy and awful. Yeah. It was, I don't think it was the fact that he was greedy, DJ Beza. I mean, there was one where he had a one wild shot, but it was just his final ball was just poor. It was just one of those games for DJ that, but he's had those before the international break. Man, I hope not, Tasha. I hope not. But it's the kind of thing I said in the Portsmouth preview. I said there's nothing that can stop Leeds United getting 3 points but Leeds United. And look what happened against Portsmouth, man. And since then, what have Portsmouth done? Yeah, Marcus here saying plus Sheffield United have a point deduction. Yeah, there's been no doubt for me overall. And again, I watch Sheffield United because my partner supports them and I get to see them pretty much every week. They've been the best team overall when it comes to just grinding out results. Hasn't been pretty. The football hasn't been like you know beautiful to watch or anything, but they get the job done. That's all you have to do. They do the basics well and go from there. And even when they're under pressure, their goalkeeper stands strong for them, their defense stands strong, and then their quality in the final third comes to the fore, and they get the results. And when you look at it, they're only 2 points ahead. They've won 26 games to our 23, and Burnley's 22. So they do the league table doesn't lie for me. They deserve to be where they are right now. There's twists and turns, I hope. Otherwise, listen, we can go up second, but I still have more questions if we only finish second. There's twists and turns to come, but we just make it hard for ourselves, man, dropping points when everyone else that has done what they're supposed to do. But yeah, oh sorry, yeah, I keep saying 8, but Freddie, you're right. There's 7 games left. 7 games left, man. Um Jack here with a question, and we'll finish on this, people, man. And yeah, put your comments below for how you're feeling. Do you think we'll get automatics? We're in terrible form. If you're asking the football head of me, I would say no. I would say there's no reason to think with the results that we've had in the last few games to think that we're going to finish in the top two. When Burnley, whenever they score, they just lock it up and it's game over. Not with Sheffield United and they're just their raw doggedness from their manager down. That all translate from their boss just to get the results and get on, move on. That's what they do. So if you're asking me seriously, I would think that we weren't going to finish in the top two at this point. I I would feel very differently if we had come back after the international break and did what we were supposed to against Swansea and then move on to Luton. I'd be singing a whole different tune. But the form has continued. So, but I've got to say though, Jack and everyone else, the thoughts of the playoffs absolutely frightens me, man. Absolutely frightens me. And yeah, Neil talking about Frank Lampard and Coventry. You've got John Eustace and Blackburn if they make it as well. Yeah, yeah, it's mad. It's mad. Not when and the thing is, you're talking about us with the quality of players we have, shouldn't be worried, but it's a tactical battle at the end of the day. And our manager, he comes unarmed. He does. He comes unarmed when it comes to actually making decisions like that. So, but listen. Well, Chris Kingy in the house. We will win the playoffs this season. I hope you're right, Chris, man. I hope you're right. But anyway, Michael here. We will end soon, man. We will end soon. I need you guys to talk me up a little, man. I need you guys to cheer me on here. Oh, we got a couple of super chats after this one, actually. Michael here saying the nervous and indecisiveness is transmitted from the manager. Good on Willie to stay engaged whilst not playing much. I reckon the rest of the non-starting squad have switched off. Hey, listen, you may have a point. May have a point, man. Mr. P saying here, don't worry. The happy clappers were saying when we dropped 2 points versus West Brom, then the same versus Pompey, QPR, and today, and we're still expected to remain positive. Yeah, for the life of me, I did not understand how people were so accepting of that draw against West Brom at home, especially after the two brilliant results we had against Sunderland and Sheffield United to then just drop 2 points at home to West Brom. Absolutely not, man. Absolutely not. Ali in the house. Shout out to you, Ali, man. KG, my newborn son is sleeping on my chest to the sound of your smooth voice. Thank you for the great content, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Thank you. Should I look at the comments now? I'll see if anyone's put any up. Let me see. Let me see while I'm doing that. And while I'm doing that, if you haven't liked the video, people, please do so. I should feel like I should wait until tomorrow. Oh God. Okay. Right. All right. All right. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Right, we're just gonna read them. I won't dissect them too much, but we'll read them, okay? Right. Farker speaking, it's heartbreaking. It's a heartbreaking moment to concede in such a situation. If you want to take part in sports, you cannot expect the sun is always shining. We have had late winners and made others feel the same way we feel today. Are you for real? All right. No, no, no. Let's move on. DF, I cannot explain the first goal. We do not have to talk about it. It was a typical first game after the break. Scruffy game, started strong, but not at our best. When the team was one session together, 12 players away, it's always not at our best, not at our best in possession. Are you for real? You know what it is with that kind of comment, though, because I know some fans will say that though. If we don't have this many internationals, people are saying, but look at the quality of the squad. Barely any of them play for international teams. They're not that good. That would be the retort to that kind of comment. Okay, I said I'm going to move on, right? I did say I'm going to move on. Here we go. You played really well. AO played a back pass for the corner. Are you? This he's done it, hasn't he? As Lee judges would say, he's done it again. We played a really good second half, much more control in their half. Howe played a back pass for the corner unnecessarily. Fantastic reaction of my team. When you can see like this, we found the next gear. Subs made an impact. So, yes, Howe's back pass wasn't good, but it shouldn't matter. Just like Solomon's slip against Burnley earlier this season, that happened in our attacking half, shouldn't have mattered. He's just gonna just keep on defending this man, isn't it? That's what happens when you are stubborn and you can't say you were wrong. No accountability, man. Can't do it. Is there anything else? Smurfs made an impact for 1 or 2 days. We will suffer. Oh, you're right. Yeah, we did not play Howell Jr. because they were not capable of 90 minutes. I understand that completely. Absolutely get that one. If you had asked me 10 days, no, we're gonna have to dive into these tomorrow. I'm gonna say my head's a little bit too hot for this. I would have said Willie was very close to starting. Injury gave him no chance of starting. Yeah. I said this in videos before, people, about this very thing, that he would, as with Willie being injured, he was going to say that Willie had a chance of starting. Did say he was going to say that, man. Did say that. Is there anything else? Okay, I'm far away from punishing a player on camera or in a press conference. Everyone can see what has happened. It's not the time for comments on this when everyone is emotional after a draw like this. Once again, double standards and hypocritical, because when Mano Solomon slipped against Burnley, he had no problem calling out Mano Solomon. And that was just a slip where a player had literally all the rest of the half to go and, create the shot and score. And it just goes underneath Mellier's arm, but he's all right defending Meslier. But that just shows you as well, by the way, with the mentality of Meslier, he's soft, weak, which is why you can't publicly criticize him like that. Although he did do so with Meslier a couple months later, or maybe a month later, after Meslier had kind of regained himself a little. He did say in one pre-match press conference that he had already spoken to Meslier about some of the errors he'd made. So he has done so. But listen, you know what, man? Yeah, called out Tanaka. Crazy, and it with what Tanaka's given us this season. Crazy stuff. But yeah, maybe Tanaka's mentally strong to handle it. I'm gonna leave it there, people, because we'll dissect those another time. I'll have to do some woosah or some woosah. There we go. Yeah, people. Don't let this ruin your Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will be back tomorrow with some video of some sorts, and we'll get into this even further with the comments. But yeah, peace out, people. Have a good evening. Peace out. See you in the next one. Like the video before you go. It's free to do and it helps out the channel. Bye-bye.